Hello and welcome to this what to do when video. Today we're going to be looking at what to do when your client has very tight hip flexors or is constantly saying that they have either pain in the hips or they feel like they're really tight or they do a lot of sitting. We're going to be looking at exercise in which you can do to try with your client, see how they go on, and then you can go to assess to see if it'll improve their quality of life, function and training. What you're going to need for this one is that today I actually have one of these adjustable blocks. You can just use the wall or you can just use something that is at a slight angle, but we just need something to push your feet off or push your foot against whilst doing the drill. So what you're going to do is you're going to just take a slight staggered stance. We're going to put one foot behind us like this and bring the other foot forward. And we're going to be emphasizing this right hand side. So the purpose of this video, let's just say it's the right hip flexor that feels the tightest. You can obviously do both sides, one after the other. But what we're going to aim for is to see if we can get a release through this motion. So I'm going to push my heel back into there. So I essentially am pushing myself away like this. That's the first cue. Second one is that I'm going to tuck my pelvis underneath, and we're not going to really reinforce too much lumbar flexion, but just think that you're trying to bring your belly button up towards your sternum, so up towards your rib cage here, just like this. We've got a slight tuck, so it's about getting that pelvic control. So the cue from this position now is that I'm going to breathe in through my nose, so get a good diaphragmatic breath. I'm going to try and keep my rib cage stacked over my hips, and what I'm going to do is as I breathe in, I'm going to push my heel back into the block or the wall, whatever you're using. So it's just going to be inhale, push in. Now you might say to your client squeeze your glute or whichever, but the main focus is push the wall away or push the block away. I'm going to just breathe in like so and breathe out. You can do that for 5 reps with the emphasis on pushing away, matching it with the inhalation. Then what you can do to add to this is that you can bring the opposing foot a little bit further forward. You can go take slightly out to the side, and now as you do this, you're going to keep everything stacked, so you can keep the rib cage over the pelvis, and we're just going to get a little bit of a push and raise up with our arm like this. So I'm going to go breathe in through my nose, and I'm going to push away and raise my arm like so. And back. Breathing in. And back. Breathing in. Hips come slightly forward, and again, not losing the pelvis, not losing the lumbar spine, so keep it just slightly tucked so you have that control underneath you. Once you do that, what you can move on to is a little bit more of an advanced technique, but it's something that's going to take the hip flexor from a shortened position to from a lengthened position to a shortened position. It can be a little bit tricky, and you can add external props to help the individual, but it's going to look like this. So you're going to breathe in, push in like that, really drive the glute up, control with the pelvis. You're going to breathe out, then you're going to breathe in and just bring your knee up and do a cross-sectional march, which is when I'm going to drive this elbow into my opposing knee. So I'm going to breathe in like this. Just going to reset, go backwards, put my heel back. I'm going to breathe in, push in, lock and load into there. So we've lengthened that hip flexor, breathe out, and I'm going to breathe in again and drive that hip forward, get that cross-sectional chain and really drive the abs in so you get that oblique sling to contract. And you don't need to do too many of these. You can do like 5 or 6 reps each side, but noticing a strength and control difference from one side to the other is going to be very, very useful if anybody has any asymmetries. So in other words, if they have one SI joint which is painful, maybe one shoulder, maybe one knee, is that doing tests and seeing what they're like from one side to the other can be very helpful. All you do, get the weak side strong, then see how it impacts the rest of their performance in the gym and in day-to-day function. So that was a little video on how to improve hip flexor function and help them if they're tight. If you really like the video, make sure you give it a like. And again, if you want to keep up to the latest content all on anatomy, function and training, make sure you hit subscribe.